The door slammed shut behind me with a finality that echoed through the rainy Seattle night, my backpack heavy with the few clothes I'd managed to grab before my father's rage exploded. At 17 I'd confessed my love for Sarah, my best friend since middle school, thinking honesty would bridge the chasm in our fractured family. Instead, it shattered everything. "You're no daughter of mine," he'd snarled, his face twisted in disgust, as my mother stood silent in the kitchen, her eyes averted, letting the eviction happen without a word of protest. I stumbled down the porch steps, the cold downpour soaking through my thin jacket, each drop a reminder of the betrayal that had just upended my life. Sarah had been my anchor in the storm of high school whispers and judgmental stares, her hand in mine, a secret rebellion against the conservative suburb where being different meant being invisible or worse. But that night, as I trudged toward the bus stop with nowhere to go, I realized love wasn't enough to shield me from the world's cruelty, or my own family's rejection. The streets blurred as I boarded the first bus out, heading toward the city lights that promised anonymity if not safety. Foster homes had been a revolving door for kids like me, but I refused to become another statistic. I crashed on friends' couches at first, scraping by with odd jobs at cafes and warehouses, my days a blur of exhaustion and my nights haunted by dreams of Sarah's tear-streaked face when I'd told her I had to leave. We'd promised forever in stolen moments behind the school gym, but reality had ripped us apart before we could even begin. Years blurred into a grind of survival. I enrolled in community college on scholarships pieced together from LGBTQ support groups, majoring in business because numbers didn't judge your heart. My professors saw potential in my sharp mind, but they didn't know the fire fueling it, the burning need to prove my worth to a family that had discarded me like yesterday's trash. I worked nights at a diner saving every penny, ignoring the ache in my chest where Sarah's memory lingered like a ghost. By 21, I transferred to NYU on a full ride, the bustling streets of Manhattan a far cry from Seattle's quiet judgment. New York swallowed me whole, its energy a balm for my wounds. I dated sporadically, women who understood the scars of coming out in a world that still whispered slurs, but none filled the void Sarah had left. Rumors trickled back through old acquaintances. Sarah had married a man, succumbed to the pressure of her own devout family, burying her truth under layers of expectation. The irony hit hard when I landed my first corporate job at a tech startup, climbing the ladder with ruthless determination. Colleagues admired my drive, calling me a self-made success story, but they didn't see the nights I stared at the ceiling, questioning if success was worth the loneliness. My father's company, a mid-sized real estate firm back in Seattle, faltered in the economic downturn, whispers of bankruptcy reaching me through LinkedIn connections. Part of me relished the thought, poetic justice for the man who'd called my love a sin. But fate has a twisted sense of humor. A lawyer's email arrived one rainy afternoon in my cramped Brooklyn apartment. My estranged grandfather, the patriarch who'd built the family empire from nothing, had passed, leaving me a significant share in his will. The man I'd barely known, absent during my expulsion, had apparently watched from afar, regretting his son's bigotry. He believed in redemption, the letter read, but all I felt was rage bubbling anew. Why now? Why after I built my walls so high? I ignored it at first, focusing on my promotion to VP, where I led teams through mergers with a cool efficiency that masked my turmoil. Yet the pull grew stronger, a nagging voice urging confrontation. Sarah's name surfaced in my searches, divorced now, running a small art gallery in Seattle, her social media a facade of smiles hiding the pain I knew too well. Could I return without unraveling? The decision crystallized over a sleepless night. I'd go back, not as the broken girl they'd thrown out, but as the woman who'd risen despite them. The flight to Seattle was turbulent, mirroring my thoughts. Landing at Seattle-Tacoma, the familiar gray skies felt oppressive, stirring memories I'd buried deep. I rented a car and drove straight to the family home, the same colonial-style house where my world had ended. My father's car was in the driveway, a sign he was home. Good. I knocked, my hand steady despite the pounding heart, ready for the reckoning. He opened the door, older now, lines etched deeper by time and failure. His eyes widened in shock. "Alexandra? What the hell are you doing here?" No warmth, just suspicion. I stepped inside without invitation, the air thick with unspoken accusations. "Grandpa left me part of the company," I said flatly, watching his face drain of color. The empire he'd mismanaged was now partially mine, and I intended to claim it all. The living room hadn't changed much. Same faded floral couches, same crucifix on the wall staring down in silent judgment. My mother emerged from the kitchen, her apron dusted with flour, her expression a mix of relief and fear. "Alex," she whispered, reaching out tentatively, but I stepped back, the wound too fresh even after a decade. "I'm here for business," I clarified, pulling out the legal documents from my bag. My father's hands trembled as he scanned them, his denial turning to fury. "This is a mistake. You're not family anymore." The argument erupted like a long-dormant volcano. He accused me of manipulation, of seducing Grandpa's sympathy from afar, while I countered with facts. The company's debts, the poor decisions that had driven it to the brink. "You threw me out for loving someone." I shot back, my voice steady but laced with years of pent-up pain. "Now, I'm the one who can save what you destroyed." Mother tried to mediate, her pleas falling on deaf ears, her own complicity in my exile hanging between us like a noose. That night I checked into a hotel downtown, the city lights mocking my solitude. Sleep evaded me, replaced by flashbacks of Sarah, our first kiss under the bleachers, the way her laughter cut through the noise of prejudice. I scrolled through her gallery's website, her bio painting a picture of quiet resilience. Divorced 2 years ago, no kids, focusing on local artists. Impulse one, I messaged her on Instagram. "In town for a few days. Coffee?" Her reply came swiftly. "Alex? God, yes. Tomorrow." We met at a cozy cafe near Pike Place Market, the aroma of fresh brews doing little to ease the knot in my stomach. Sarah looked even more beautiful, her blonde hair tied back, blue eyes carrying the weight of unspoken regrets. We hugged awkwardly, the years melting away in that touch. "You look amazing," she said, her voice cracking. "Successful. I always knew you would be." Over lattes the stories poured out, my rise in New York, her stifled marriage to appease her parents, the quiet divorce when the facade crumbled. But beneath the reunion's warmth lurked shadows. Sarah confessed her family's pressure had been relentless, mirroring my own expulsion. "I thought marrying Tom would fix me," she admitted, tears welling. "But it only broke me more." I reached across the table, our fingers intertwining instinctively, a spark reigniting what time had dimmed. Yet doubt crept in. Could we rebuild amid the ruins of our pasts? Back at the company offices the next day, tension thickened. My father had rallied the board, old cronies loyal to him, painting me as an outsider threat. "She's not one of us," he argued in the meeting, his gaze avoiding mine. I presented my plan, a restructuring to modernize, targeting inclusive markets like LGBTQ-friendly developments. Whispers rippled. Some nodded, seeing the potential, others scowled at the agenda. The vote was split, buying me time but not victory. Sarah and I spent evenings wandering Seattle's streets, rediscovering each other. She shared her art, pieces infused with themes of hidden identities and forbidden love, each stroke a silent scream against society. "I painted you," she confessed one night by the waterfront, showing me a canvas of 2 figures embracing in shadows. Emotion choked me. We'd both paid dearly for our truth, yet here we were, tentative and hopeful. But betrayal loomed. My sister, Emily, whom I'd barely spoken to since leaving, called unexpectedly. "Dad's planning something," she warned, her voice hushed. "He's digging into your life, looking for dirt." Emily had been 12 when I left, too young to understand but old enough to miss me. Her loyalty wavered now, torn between family ties and budding awareness of injustice. "I support you, Alex. But Mom's health is failing. She can't handle more stress." The weight pressed heavier. Confronting Dad at home that evening, I found him poring over old photos, his defiance cracking. "Why come back?" he demanded. "To rub it in?" I sat across from him, the air heavy. "To show you I'm not broken. And maybe to forgive." His laugh was bitter. "Forgive? After what you are?" The slur hung unspoken, reigniting my fire. But as I left, Mother's frail hand on my arm stopped me. "I was wrong," she whispered. "I let fear win." Tears stung. Redemption felt possible yet fragile. Sarah's presence became my sanctuary. We talked of futures, of leaving Seattle together, but reality intruded. Her ex-husband, bitter from the divorce, had allies in conservative circles, whispering rumors that could tarnish her gallery. If we're seen together, she fretted, it could ruin everything I've built. The choice loomed. Pursue our love and risk it all, or retreat to safety's illusion. The board meeting escalated into a battlefield. My father unveiled his counterattack. Emails from anonymous sources alleging my unstable lifestyle would scare investors. We can't afford scandals, he proclaimed, sliding folders across the table. The room tensed, eyes darting to me. I stood, composure intact. This is fear-mongering. My personal life is irrelevant. Focus on the numbers. I projected charts showing projected growth under my vision, inclusive housing projects that could revitalize the firm. A few board members shifted, murmuring agreement, but the divide deepened. Outside, protesters gathered. Local conservatives tipped off, picketing with signs decrying moral decay. News vans arrived, turning our family drama into public spectacle. Sarah texted. Saw the news. Be careful. Her concern warmed me, but anxiety gnawed. That evening we met in a secluded park, away from prying eyes. This is what we fought against, she said, her hand in mine. Society hasn't changed much. We shared a kiss, brief but electric, a defiance against the chaos. Home confronted me next. Emily waited on the porch, her face pale. Dad's talking to lawyers about contesting the will. Betrayal stung anew, my own blood plotting against me. Inside, Mother looked frilier, her illness a silent player in this tragedy. He's scared, she confided. Losing you broke him too. I wanted to believe her, but actions spoke louder. He chose hate over love, I replied, the words heavy with finality. Sarah's world collided with mine when her ex, Tom, showed up at her gallery opening. I'd attended incognito, but he recognized me from old photos. So this is why our marriage failed, he sneered, loud enough for guests to hear. Whispers spread like wildfire. Patrons eyed us warily. Sarah pulled me aside, panic in her eyes. He could destroy my reputation. We argued in hushed tones, me urging her to stand firm, her fearing the fallout. I've lost enough, she whispered. The night ended in tears, our bond strained by external pressures. The next day, a tabloid article hit. Disowned heiress returns with agenda. It twisted facts, painting me as vengeful, Sarah as collateral. Calls flooded my phone, reporters, old friends, even supportive allies from NYC. But the damage was done. Investors hesitated, the company's stock dipped. Father called a family dinner, his olive branch laced with conditions. Drop the changes and we'll welcome you back, he offered. Mother nodded weakly, Emily silent. I refused. Acceptance isn't conditional. Sarah and I retreated to her apartment, the city rain mirroring our turmoil. What if we run? She suggested half-jokingly. But running meant defeat. Instead, we planned. I'd rally progressive investors. She'd host an exhibit on LGBTQ stories to counter the narrative. Our love deepened in adversity, each touch a promise, yet the cost mounted. Emily confided more. Father's health was declining too, stress exacerbating old issues. Guilt twisted inside me. Was my return worth their suffering? A pivotal confrontation came at the hospital. Mother had collapsed, her condition worsening. Father sat vigil, defeated. This is on you, he accused when I arrived. But in the sterile room, walls crumbled. I was wrong, he admitted hoarsely. Fear made me blind. Tears flowed, mine, his, Emily's. Forgiveness hovered, tentative. Yet Sarah's absence loomed. She'd stayed away, fearing escalation. Reinvigorated, I pushed the board vote. Allies emerged, swayed by my passion. Victory teetered, but a leak revealed Father's past embezzlement. Emily's doing, her loyalty shifting to justice. He needs to face it, she said. The revelation shattered him, forcing resignation. I took the helm, the empire mine, but triumph tasted bittersweet. Sarah's exhibit opened to acclaim, her art a beacon. We stood together, hands linked, defying stares. But Tom's threats persisted, suing for emotional distress. The battle wasn't over, choices loomed, each with a price. With the company under my control, changes swept in like a storm. I rebranded, emphasizing diversity, partnering with LGBTQ organizations for community projects. Profits climbed, validating my vision, but backlash intensified. Anonymous threats arrived, emails, calls, echoing societal demons. Freaks don't belong in business, one read. Security tighten. Paranoia creeping into my days. Sarah's lawsuit dragged on, Tom's bitterness a weapon. He's using our past against me, she confided, exhaustion etching her features. We supported each other. Nights spent strategizing our love a fortress. Yet cracks appeared. She questioned if my ambition overshadowed us. Is the company worth this? She asked during a heated argument. I paused, the truth dawning. Success had become my armor, but it isolated too. Family reconciliation faltered. Father retreated to isolation, his pride wounded. Mother improved slightly. Her visits to my office tentative olive branches. I'm proud, she said once, tears in her eyes. Emily thrived as my assistant, her awakening a silver lining. But old wounds festered. A family therapy session exploded in accusations. You abandoned me. I yelled at father. You chose doctrine over daughter. He stormed out, progress undone. A turning point came at a gala fundraiser. Sarah and I attended as a couple, heads high amid whispers. Tom crashed, drunk and vengeful, confronting us publicly. She ruined my life, he bellowed. Chaos ensued. Flashes from phones, security intervening. The incident went viral, polarizing opinions. Supporters rallied with love wins, detractors spewed hate. Sarah broke down afterward. I can't do this anymore, she sobbed. The cost is too high. The ultimatum hit like a gut punch. Choose the fight or us. I agonized, pacing my penthouse overlooking the Sound. The empire I'd claimed symbolized victory over rejection. But at what price? Memories flooded. Being homeless at 17, vowing never to be powerless again. Yet love demanded vulnerability, the one thing power couldn't buy. I chose her. Resigning as CEO, I appointed Emily, ensuring the inclusive path continued. Father reacted with shock, then reluctant respect. Maybe I was wrong about you. The handover was emotional, a release of burdens I'd carried too long. Sarah and I fled to a quiet cabin in the Cascades, reconnecting away from the storm. Laughter returned, plans for a future untainted by past ghosts. But society didn't forget. Online trolls persisted, testing our resolve. Returning to Seattle, we faced the final hurdle. Tom's settlement demand. Negotiating, we exposed his own hypocrisies, affairs during their marriage, forcing a retreat. Freedom tasted sweet, but scars remained. Mother passed peacefully months later. Her last words a plea for unity. Father attended the funeral, a shadow of his former self, offering a hug that bridged years of pain. Emily flourished, the company thriving under her. Yet doubt lingered. Had I sacrificed too much? Sarah and I built a life, her gallery expanding, my consulting work fulfilling, but the world's judgment never fully faded. In the quiet aftermath, Seattle's rhythm resumed, but we carried the echoes of battles fought. Sarah's art evolved, canvases now brighter, infused with hope amid the shadows. We married in a small ceremony by the lake, friends and Emily witnessing. Father's absence a poignant reminder of unfinished healing. I love you, Sarah whispered during vows, her eyes locking mine, a promise forged in fire. The company prospered, Emily's leadership blending my vision with fresh ideas. She bridged gaps with father, coaxing him to volunteer at LGBTQ centers, his transformation slow but genuine. It's never too late, he told me during a rare visit, his voice gruff with emotion. Forgiveness came in layers, not absolving the past but allowing a future. Yet societal undercurrents persisted. A local bill threatened rights, sparking protests we joined, our story inspiring others. Young teens approached, sharing tales mirroring mine, disownment, struggle, resilience. You give us hope, one said. But hope came at a cost. Anonymity lost, privacy invaded. Sarah worried about safety, her protectiveness a mirror to my own. Reflection hit during a stormy night, much like the one I'd been cast out. Was it worth it? I asked Sarah, curled together. She smiled softly. Every scar led here. Her words soothed but questions lingered. The moral ambiguities of revenge disguised as justice, the ethics of exposing family sins, the debate over fighting or fleeing. We ventured into advocacy, speaking at events, our narrative a catalyst for change. Backlash followed. Lost clients for Sarah, strained board relations for Emily. But solidarity grew. Father's full apology came unexpectedly, over coffee. I was scared of what I didn't understand, he admitted. I lost my daughter because of it. Tears flowed, a catharsis long overdue. Life stabilized, our home a haven of art and ambition. Yet the journey's toll manifested in quiet moments, nightmares of abandonment, hesitance and trust. Therapy helped, unraveling knots of trauma. Sarah's patience was my lifeline, her strength complementing my vulnerabilities. As years passed, our story faded from headlines, but its impact endured. Emily had a child, naming her after me, a gesture of continuity. Father passed peacefully, his will amended to support equality causes, a final redemption. In the end, love prevailed, but not without sacrifices. We walked hand in hand through parks, symbols of defiance and endurance. The world evolved slowly, prejudices eroding under persistent voices like ours. But was forcing change through personal vendetta truly righteous? Or did it perpetuate the cycle of pain?